Hello, I'm Vince, W1OOW, and I'm here at the Boxboro ARRL convention. And I have a wonderful story that I'd like to tell you. There are a lot of wonderful things that happen at these conventions, but this is so unusual that I wanted to make sure that people would hear about it. To give you some background, in the 1950s, from 1956 to 1960, I was a student at the Norwich Free Academy in Norwich, Connecticut. And in my second year there, I had recently gotten my ham ticket as W1OOW, or back then WN1OOW. Back then, we had a course in radio that was taught to the upper two grades, and it was taught by Tom Baldwin, W1RLX. They had their own room there, which was where the radio shop was, and also they had this wonderful storage area. Shortly after the Second World War ended, the Norwich Free Academy acquired a trainload of surplus but brand new electronic equipment. And NFA acquired a whole bunch of it, as I say, a trainload, and they put it in the storeroom. Now, in my second year at Norwich Free Academy in 1958, which is exactly 50 years ago, Mr. Baldwin asked me if I would work after school in converting the ARC receivers, the ARC-5 receivers, from a dynamotor power supply to a conventional power supply, transformer and so forth, operated power supply that his students could use, that would just use the regular 120 volts AC. So I worked there for that school year in converting these ARC-5 receivers. I did literally hundreds of them, and it was something that was very enjoyable. Of course, when I stopped working there, I completely forgot about ARC-5 receivers, except occasionally I would come to an ARRL convention or some type of a flea market where I would see once in a while an ARC-5 receiver, which is what happened to me today. I was looking, going up and down the aisles, which, by the way, was a wonderful flea market, the best we've had in years, and I happened to see this particular ARC-5 receiver. Now, the neat thing about it, I looked at it very closely, and I could see some writing, almost invisible, on the very top of the receiver. And it took me a while to decide or to figure out what it read, but what it said is property of Norwich Free Academy, and I could not believe it. This is literally one of the hundreds of receivers that I worked on as a young novice. So I had to come 50 years to find one of the things that I had worked on as a young ham radio operator.
Yeah, say hi to it. I'm working. Yeah. Oh, I got the mornings.
The ARC-5 receiver was typically used on aircraft, probably on B-17s, B-24s, I would imagine, and it came in three varieties, which would be three different frequency ranges. Fortunately, included within those three frequency ranges was 40 meters, 80 meters, and 20 meters. This particular receiver would receive the 40-meter ham band.